Now we return to senior Rotax. We've already got a problem on the pre-grid. Someone not able to make it out. And I'm wondering if that driver is still stuck in there, but we'll have a look at the grid. Looks like Jens van der Heiden's got a problem, but the grid is as follows. Rhys Hunter and Lewis Gilbert, they're on the front row. Magic Chimera, not been a great weekend for the youngster out of Reading, with Polish heritage. He's starting on row 2 again, but this time he's alongside Linus Henson. Aaron Walker and Lachlan Robinson ran out the top 3 rows. Nick Cuppens and Lucas Schoenmakers, row number 4. And then rounding out the top 10, Arthur Roche from France and Benedek Vida from Hungary. Vilgot Edqvist and Teddy Clinton, that's the top 6 rows. Luca Thiel and Oscar Christiansen, row 14. And then we've got Jens van der Heiden, who has actually made it out onto the circuit. He's alongside Dylan Leger from France, Patrick Rundqvist and Daniel Armstrong on row 9. And completing the top 20, it is Simon Gaspard and David Lackner, Hugo Bach and Wood Kirstens, row 11, Yuri Tenhef and Enzo Caldaras in row 12. Giuseppe Fico, looks like it was Mads Albert Jorgensen, possibly, that has had a problem down in 26th with Milan Ritter and Leon Arndt. That's your fault, and it is a non-starter for Mads Albert Jorgensen, so it looked like there was a possible problem for one of the drivers, maybe Jens van der Heiden, but he managed to get out, so that's good. The Dutchman with Combi Kart Racing Team was a junior last year, now moves up to seniors. And when you move from juniors to seniors, as I spoke with Daniel Armstrong's dad, Alan, yesterday, he said, yeah, it's a bit of a steep learning curve. You're right, it is, because any driver that has difficulties, it shows that there is a steep learning curve between juniors and seniors. It's a completely different world altogether. However, there are some drivers that take to the challenge, and then there are others that initially have that little faltering or stumbling step. But then when they start clicking things into place, you know, putting the pieces of the puzzle together, that's where they can then have an opportunity to move forward. And hopefully some of these drivers now know, are they in the danger zone of being outside of the top 30 for tomorrow? Have they got a chance of keeping things consistent? Because I know for a fact that Magic Chimera will want to make a little bit of an impression here. I said it's been difficult, but before you win, you have to fail first to succeed. So Rhys Hunter and Lewis Gilbert on the front row. Chimera, Henson, Walker, Robinson, Cuppens, Schoenmakers, Roche and Vida. And there is Jens van der Heiden, and he's going to start from the back of the grid. Revs rise, lights out, we are racing. Hunter gets a good start again. Gilbert trying to go toe-to-toe, side-by-side around the outside. Henson looking very, very wide indeed. Lachlan Robinson nearly getting sandwiched, but Henson keeps ahead of him as there are 4 abreast, and round the outside again. There are so many charlatans doing that this weekend. Oh, and he's been turned around. There's been an incident, and that was Schoenmakers. And someone's been grass cutting. Another car has just been turned around. Oh, my goodness me. Where's the defibrillator again? Oh, my goodness. I thought it was bad enough with the B&L Karting Series last week. Now here at the Euro Trophy again. But the biggest differentiator here has been the weather. It has caught people out. So this is where your mettle gets tested. So drivers trying to keep it nice and consistent and leading the way, going on to the completion of lap 1. It is Aaron Walker from Strawberry Racing. It's a 1-2 for them at the moment because Lewis Gilbert is in second place. Rhys Hunter, Linus Henson, Lachlan Robinson ran out the top 5. Scrap for 7th. And it could nearly be 3 abreast going into turn 2. I nearly was right there, but they managed to get through. It is 3 abreast. Everyone's trying to get through. And Nick Cuppens again starts to strike whilst the iron is hot. But the Belgian is not being allowed to get away. Someone's put the dog leash on him and started yanking it, pulling him back in their direction, not allowing him to get away at all. As now there's a further change. Gilbert goes toe-to-toe. That is with Hunter. Oh, now was that Gilbert? Gilbert was on the grass coming out of turn 6 onto the Europolan. And that means that Lachlan Robinson has now gained another position. The Dubai-based driver from the United Arab Emirates now up into P4. Gilbert down in 5th place. So Rhys Hunter, I'm not too sure if Hunter and Gilbert had a little bit of a touch there. that sent the Scotsman off to the left-hand side. So 7 minutes and 45 seconds to go. And Aaron Walker is trying to get away. It is not happening. That kart is struggling for traction. He knows it, so do the people behind. As all three abreast coming out of turn 12. And in the midst of all of that, there were a few karts, and one of which was Teddy Clinton in the 345 from Great Britain. As now, this is really getting heated and hot under the collar because Linus Henson is trying to chase down Aaron Walker and go for a first ever victory in the Euro Trophy. As up the inside of the 322, we had a great move there. Lucas Schormacher springboarded his way up the inside through turn 4. And still the positions change like the pendulum swings. But it is all about who keeps that pendulum standing still and then puts the momentum favour in their corner. So Vilgot Edqvist, I think, was one of the karts involved in that earlier incident. And he's down in 26th position. Daniel Armstrong, also in the trenches, down from 18th into 25th. So Patrick Rundqvist trying to catch Dylan Leger. But look at Linus Henson. He's now closing on Aaron Walker. The German now looking to strike up towards the inside. Henson puts it on the inside of Aaron Walker. Now gets the lead. Makes the move stick by the apex of turn 2. Reese Hunter is also trying to factor into that. Artur Horsch is closing on Lachlan Robinson. And that's France versus the United Arab Emirates. Lachlan Robinson made a precedence last year by becoming the first UAE licensed driver to secure a Grand Finals ticket outside of the UAE itself by securing 3rd last season. He has won multiple championships in the UAE, which does include Rotax competitions. And now, now there was a bit of a bump on the curb there by Robinson. That allowed Artur Horsch to get through, but Robinson trying to stay with. The bump on the curb going through into turn 8 unsettled the 326, and Robinson had to catch it. It pushed the kart wide, and Roche saw the opportunity. We're just about halfway through this race. Linus Henson from Germany looks to, well, wants to become the next heat winner, because at the moment, provisionally, Dylan LaHaye has 3 to his count. So he could be the favourite going into tomorrow's finals. But there are other drivers that will want to try and do otherwise. Aaron Walker had a disaster in his previous heat, broke down and retired. But then Reese Hunter trying to get on level pegging. And Hunter, pole sitter after completed qualification from yesterday. But Artur Horsch from France nearly got up the inside of Hunter, based out of Houghton-le-Spring, up in Tyne and Weir. And there goes Artur Horsch. Now he's up into 3rd position, but Hunter will want to get that position back. But whilst that has been happening, little touch from behind. Reese Hunter ends up in the back bumper of Artur Horsch. Robinson is there. He's waiting. Gilbert is a little bit further adrift. As now the gloves, it looks like it's become a bare-knuckle boxing match, because the gloves have well and truly come off here. But the strategy, it's the mind games. It's psyching out your opponent. Keep them guessing, then strike. Because now Hunter showed his nose to Horsch. Horsch puts on the brakes, goes a little bit sideways going into turn 1. Walker trying to keep a hold on 2nd position and keep everyone behind him at bay. But, now, I just saw that Reese Hunter went through turn 4. There is a big standing water puddle. The left rear caught it and nearly spat out the back end to the right-hand side. There's now Artur Horsch sizing up a move on Aaron Walker, but it won't be through turn 7. And then you look behind, you have Lewis Gilbert in 6th. Oscar Christensen is closing. And then I'm going to say this. don't count out Nick Cuppens or Dylan Leger. They round out the top 9 positions. Benedek Vida from Hungary rounds out the top 10. Simon Gaspard up to 25. Lukas Schoonmaker's 17th. Magic Chimera now running in 16th position and is about 1.3 seconds ahead of the 396. Clinton, 12th. Caldajas and Thiel and Bach now round out the top 15 positions. Lewis Gilbert looking, closing on Lachlan Robinson. But Robinson puts the brakes on early. Going into turn 1 and 2. Gilbert looking for his window of opportunity. Robinson puts the power down, closes off the door before turn 4 even happens. But then, up the inside of the 359 goes Nick Cuppens, and Dylan Leger returns the favour through turn 5. Fully committed, full of concentration and true determination. Intestinal fortitude is the determination, or is the definition. But there's a 4-letter word, and it's called guts. That's what Dylan Leger had that to put that move back on Nick Cuppens. And in the meantime, Lewis Gilbert has got past Lachlan Robinson. Robinson's got Oscar Christensen breathing down the rear of his race overalls at this moment, as we've got a minute and a half to go. Lachlan Robinson has already secured 2 6th-place finishes. He was 13th after overall classification as Artur Horsch now gets past Aaron Walker for 2nd position. Walker hits the curbs coming out of turn 12, and that nearly steps out the back of the kart to the left-hand side, but Walker catches it nicely. Walker looking to reassert himself and go back up the inside, but Artur Horsch closes the door. Reese Hunter now closing in. Lewis Gilbert also starting to wind up the wick on that Rotax Max Evo engine, pinned to that Tony Kart chassis. As Hunter now sizing up Aaron Walker. Hunter goes wide, puts the throttle down, powers out of the corner, starts accelerating. Walker does in kind, and they both... Did you see that? Oh my goodness. Both of them hit the brakes at exactly the same point on the circuit to go into turn 7, and both karts synchronized in the back end, stepping out to the left-hand side before they caught it. That just shows how these drivers have built up their skill sets. And to be completely honest with you, there's... I can say this from true experience. When it rains, it pours in the United Kingdom. And the Brits do love racing in the wet. But we have 10 seconds to go. There's a bit of a battle here. And that is with Magic Chimera. Oh, and Schoonmaker's nigh on T-bones him up the inside. Oh, my goodness me. Magic Chimera just got a rude awakening again, courtesy of Lukas Schoonmaker's. And that wasn't just a small, hi, how are you? It was like, good afternoon, bang. And that's what can happen, as now Lewis Gilbert has got past Aaron Walker, but Walker's gone right up the inside of him through turn 4. Gilbert returns the favour through turn 5. Walker goes high and mighty on the curves, looking to get the cutback through turn 6. Now this is allowing Lachlan Robinson and also Oscar Christensen to factor in, as Gilbert, again, look, Gilbert and Walker this time. Back end steps out to the right-hand side whilst they apply the brakes. And you can just see that it's getting to be a rather bit hasty. You know, sometimes desperation can creep in, but you look at some drivers that are just trying to make sure that they do what they need to do. A little bit of a sideways drift to the right-hand side for Lachlan Robinson. That then opens the door for Oscar Christensen as the Dane goes through. Robinson right on the back bumper going through the exit of turn 10. And then there is Dylan Leger. So Leger trying to go up the inside of Robinson through turn 12, forces the UAE driver a little bit wide, but there was room to go and make that move. But Robinson, a consistent performer, multi-time champion in his own right in the United Arab Emirates. Every single appearance he makes here in Europe is a learning experience. And in many respects, it defines him as a driver. And now he's going to go toe-to-toe as we go on to the final lap of the race. Now, there has been a time penalty. 3.37, Artur Horsch on the naughty step. And that is going to put him out of second position. He's got a 5-second time penalty for pushing. And I'm just going to have a look at that here. That's going to put him out of the top 6, or maybe even the top 8. Because now Linus Henson on the final lap This is going to be an absolutely emphatic victory for the Rotax Max Challenge Germany champion in this class from last season. So round turn 12. Kachmi's Linus Henson powers out of the final corner, and he takes the win here at Karting Genk in absolutely torrid rain conditions here. Arthur Horsch takes second, 3.8 seconds behind. However, a 5-second time penalty actually puts him, by my estimation, around 8th position. So Arthur Horsch, 5-second time penalty, 3.8 seconds. Add 5 to that, that's 8.8. That puts him 7th, ahead of. Well, that will put him ahead of Dylan Leger, so that drops him to 6th. So Reese Hunter will inherit 2nd position. Lewis Gilbert will round out the top 3 ahead of Aaron Walker. The provisional standings, obviously, before any adjustments, are Henson wins, Horsch in 2nd, Hunter in 3rd, Gilbert and Walker round out the top 5. Oscar Christensen, Dylan Leger, Lachlan Robinson, Nick Cuppins, Benedek Vida, Patrick Rundquist, Teddy Clinton, Enzo Caldajas, Luca Thiel and Hugo Bach round out the top 15. Then Milan Ritter in 16th. And you've also got Lucas Schoenmakers, Giuseppe Fico. A little bit of a better result for Magic Chimera in 19th, ahead of Austria's David Lackner, Jens van der Heijden, Vilgot Edquist, Daniel Armstrong, Simon Gaspard, Wood Kirstens, Juri Tenhef, Leon Arndt round out the 27, as there is Hugo Bach's kart that has just broken down. Good pick up by the camera crew there. Now, where is that on the circuit? Possibly a little bit further down towards the pre-grid, or to the entrance into Parc Fermé.